This video.
Man, that's so cool. Everything is free. Okay, I'm taking these.
Oi, read those back.
And this video
Brothers and sisters, I no longer have...
have something in common. They're both entirely generated using artificial intelligence. Tools like OpenAI's SORA 2 and Google's Nano Banana Pro are now easily accessible to everyone. And, in theory, anyone can use them to make photos and videos that show someone doing something that they have never done before. These are just some examples of deepfakes, which have skyrocketed in recent years. One estimate suggests that around 8 million deepfakes have been shared online in 2025, up from just 500,000 2 years before. In France, a study found that the number of deepfakes and the number of people interacting with them has nearly doubled between 2024 and 2025. Which begs the question, can the EU properly regulate against deepfakes? We asked Dr. Gianclaudio Malgieri at Leiden University this very question. He said that EU law already has some protections in place.
The GDPR already kind of protected us a bit against deepfakes, because when deepfakes uses someone's face or voice, that's typically personal data because it can allow us to identifying and singling out an individual. But enforcement is hard, especially with cross-border actors and fast viral spread.
Then came the AI Act, the EU's big regulation package on artificial intelligence, which sought to be the first of its kind. But it seems when it comes to deepfakes, not that much would change.
We fear that if we regulate deepfakes too much and if we prohibit them, we are also interfering with creativity, freedom of expression in general. So the approach was not to prohibit them, okay, but they could have been named as high risk. But no, the final answer was that they were put under Article 50, so limited risk, which means you need to label them as an AI product.
Essentially, the only obligation is that AI-generated content, including deepfakes, must be labeled as such. And the Commission just got started on drafting the labeling framework in November. In contrast, the EU's Digital Services Act sets out much stronger protections against AI-generated content, requiring platforms to moderate them and assess their impact on our fundamental rights. But the story doesn't end there. Also in November, the Commission unveiled two of its omnibus packages. The Data Omnibus and the AI Omnibus look to bring changes to the GDPR and the AI Act, respectively. What did they say about deepfakes? It's not very clear, but the Data Omnibus proposal could see more of our personal data being used to train AI models. And that's because it looks to change the definition of what is considered personal data under the GDPR.
Generative AI and deepfakes scale with data, so the more data, the more we can have them. So the omnibus logic is partly about making more data available for AI development, even if framed as anonymized or controller relative, and that can accelerate and increase the attack surface. For example, more models, more capability, and then more misuse.
There are some positive points to this proposal, but the concerns far outweigh them, because the Data Omnibus looks to bring changes to the core principles of the GDPR, which could then have knock-on effects on data protection regulation worldwide. And when it comes to deepfakes, simply putting a label is not enough.
I sometimes watch this video now created with SORA or other video creation through generative AI, and sometimes I had trouble to say whether this was AI or not. And in that case, I understand the labeling maybe would say, okay, this is for sure AI. Still, people might be attacked, offended, they might be harmed from some of these videos. So labeling would be very, very superficial considering the big problem behind it. Yeah.
We'll be keeping an eye on the story, so stay tuned to ChatEurope for more.